Check, check, check. You guys still there? Can you hear me okay? Let me know if you can hear me okay. I don't know if you can or cannot. Let's see. I'm not hearing a bunch of nothing. I'll wait until I see the chat room and you guys let me know if you can hear me all right. Because got a little bit of good. Perfect. Great. You can hear me. How's everybody doing? Hope you guys are doing good. I know you guys we have exciting information to share in regards to the Prince celebration. You guys are aware that Funkatopia is not an official source for Prince information, right? Yet here we are. Okay. So welcome one and all. I hope you guys are doing well. This is not an episode of Funkatopia Live. This is just a little bit of a hit and run, but in this particular case, I will leave this one up and running so that you have that information and anybody can use it for whatever you need to use it for. Let me make sure that I go ahead and upload this little spreadsheet thing here. Here's what I will tell you. It has been announced pretty much with a roughly about 24 hours notice that the celebration tickets were going to be on sale. Wasn't any kind of advanced warning, but that was it. Unfortunately, from what I'm hearing and what I'm seeing here in the chat room, is essentially that the celebration early bird tickets went on sale for both VIP and general admission, and they sold out pretty much immediately. Well, not immediately, but it's kind of surprising that they sold out. Now, I do not know if they have a certain amount that is allocated for the early bird sales and that they are going to make more VIP tickets available. I don't know. Maybe they put half up for VIP for early bird and sitting on the other half. I don't know. But apparently that's not the case. So again, as it stands, we don't know the full spectrum of what's happening here. As I told you guys back in, last year, they had a meeting at the last celebration indicating that this year's celebration was going to be a lot more family friendly and that they were going to try to do it, I guess, in a little bit more cost efficient way that was going to work out better for people. So that's good. That was good to know. And they also said that they were going to be supplying discounts as well to people who have attended in the past. Now, at the event last year, I don't remember all of the price points for the discounts, but here's what I can tell you. Well, before we get to the discounts, let me just say this. This was going to be essentially an opportunity where everybody was going to be able to purchase tickets before they went on sale to the general public. And the only people that really knew about this were technically people that had been here before, been in a celebration before. Last year, he mentioned that if you had attended between 3 and 5 celebrations, that you would get a 20% discount. And if you've been to all the celebrations, that you would get a 50% discount. I don't know where 6, because I want to say there were 7 celebrations, correct? And posthumous celebrations. And so I want to say that if you went to 6 of them, I don't know what you think. I mean, maybe you got a 20% discount. Maybe you didn't. I did receive the 20% off email. The email came and it was not correct first because it just had like the database field and it just says unique code here. Unfortunately, as far as I know, you cannot give your code out to people and then let them get the discounts. I'm pretty sure it's not how it works. I think it generated a new code for every individual person. And once that code is used, it's gone. So if you gave your code to somebody, you probably just lost your percentage off. But As far as I know, that code is tied to you as an individual. If you did not get an email, you can send an email to celebration@paisleypark.com. I think that's the email at the bottom of the page, which we're going to go over all this in a second. But if you go to the bottom of the page, you'll actually see there's an email there. It says celebration@paisleypark.com if you have any questions. And the only reason why I know this is because I sent them an email regarding the discount code, and it was not, it was wrong. And then they sent a corrected one, and it actually had the code. From what I can see here in the chat room, the VIP is sold out. So let's look at a couple of things here. First off, let's look at the actual page. Okay, let's start from the beginning, shall we? It makes much more sense to start from the beginning, kind of work through this and talk through this to kind of give you a little bit of idea. This will serve as kind of like a little bit of a celebration update special type of thing, even though it's happening during the early bird. Most of the information I give you here will be relevant to some extent moving forward. So I don't anticipate doing this again because I'm not on their payroll and we're not an official source for Prince information. However, a lot of people do come to Funkatopia for Prince information. We are not an official source. And as you can see, I've done a scroll here. I'm not affiliated with Prince, Paisley Park, or the Prince Estate. It's just talking and sharing information. So let me share this screen for you for the actual celebration so that you can kind of see everything that's here. So these are early bird tickets that were available for VIP packages, general admission packages, and of course they also have some information for hotel partners, shuttles, and parking. And don't freak out if I scroll past something quick, because I will come back and I'll kind of give you a little bit of background information and some information that you may or may not need to have. Prince Celebration 2026, a 10-year celebration of life. As you may or may not know, I would think that you would probably know by now, especially if you're a Prince fan, that it is the 10-year anniversary of Prince's passing, and that's where we're at. And it is going to actually happen on April 21st. Yeah, April 21st is the 10-year anniversary of his passing. So that's what's going on. And so it's a pretty big year in that regard. However, we're not physically celebrating it until June 3rd through the 7th, which is what this is, June 3rd through the 7th. What I did find interesting, I'm going to read this here. Not that you guys can't read for yourself, but I want to read it anyways. It says, this year marks a powerful milestone, the 10th anniversary celebration of life, as the Prince fam gathers once again from around the world to honor the music, the artistry, and the everlasting spirit of Prince. Prince envisioned Paisley Park as a place to gather, celebrate creativity, innovation, and self-expression. Prince Celebration 2026 carries that vision moving forward, uniting Purple fam from around the world through music and community. As it grows, Celebration extends beyond Paisley Park into Minneapolis and St. Paul, uplifting the city that shaped Prince and creating meaningful connections across the Twin Cities. This is the part that I find interesting. Prince Celebration 2026 will highlight the depth and evolution of Prince's artistry through the eras of Parade, Emancipation, Chaos and Disorder, The Rainbow Children, and 3121. All of which will have this year are kind of celebrating some sort of anniversary of sorts. So this is good news that sounds like they're going to actually be tapping on the different eras, not just for Parade, which celebrates its 40th this year, but also for moving forward, which is pretty amazing. And I find it interesting that Chaos and Disorder is in this mix. That's not typically an album that they choose to celebrate or even make so much of a nod towards. So this is really, really good to see this. Anyways, it says early bird tickets will be available beginning February 27th, 2026, which is today. Tickets are on sale right now. VIP is apparently sold out from what I'm hearing in the chat room. I'm assuming that is true. Don't miss this limited opportunity to secure your tickets at a special reduced rate before the official ticket release. And again, this 10-year milestone is a reminder of Prince's legacy, that Prince's legacy is alive, evolving, and is being carried forward by every fam, every musician, and every creative spirit he inspired. Let's celebrate the life. Let's celebrate the legacy. Let's celebrate the music. Let's celebrate Prince Rogers Nelson. All right, so here we go. Then it kind of goes into what the cost of the VIP is, what the cost of the general admission is, and of course, another opportunity down here, regardless of whether you choose VIP or GA, an opportunity to actually purchase an add-on of a Lake Minnetonka boat cruise that I've heard is a lot of fun, that's taking place on Sunday, June 7th. And it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. I think it says here that the boat cruises are scheduled to correspond with your celebration ticket type, GA or VIP. So again, let's stop sharing right there, and I'm going to pull up something else. First off, yes, again, if you don't have a code, if you've been, as far as I know, we're going to get to the codes in a second. I'm sorry. I know that everybody kind of wants to, move forward with some of this stuff, but let me make sure I got everything here that's happening in the chat room. Cassandra says, what is up, my beautiful peoples? Got my celebration ticket. Not happy about the 20% discount when I've gone 6 times, but I'll hash it with that amount later. So yeah, so apparently between 3 and 6 times, you get a 20% discount. And if you've gone to all 7 of the celebrations, you get a 50% discount. That's what I heard. So there's that. Lori says, I hope they're not bringing back the same acts to perform from those who have already done previous celebrations. I honestly could not tell you. I think they had to do a duplication / replication as it was for Jesse Johnson, and F Deluxe came and they came back as the family, and there really isn't. Maserati did not perform, but Brown Mark Nation did, which was pretty much an iteration of Maserati. Really, the only bands that I can think of that are spinoffs or that could potentially do anything would have been Wendy and Lisa as a duo, and Apollonia 6. I honestly don't know. I honestly don't know. I don't know what they would be able to pull together for performing acts that have not already performed before. Everything else is really digging. So we're going to find out. Thank you, Marco. Marco's tuning in from Belgium. What's going on? So yeah, so I'm seeing everybody say, yeah, Pat says VIP early bird is sold out already. Let's see what else we got here. It says the information they have supplied is very vague. Let me see if I can give you a little bit of clarification and a little bit of give you some help with some of this. We're going to talk through this in just a moment. Yes, Michelle K says VIP is sold out. Bayern says, I honestly wish they would offer to pay through PayPal rather than having to pay all of that money up front with your credit card. Come on now, you can even do pay in 4 for airline flights. Yep, that's true. Yes, VIP is apparently sold out. And I'm just making sure I'm going through the chat room. Yeah, Madhouse. Travis says Madhouse, Jill Jones. Sheila E. has played before. Jill Jones performed last year with the family. So she was, she came out and did something, didn't she? I remember correctly. No, Susanna. No, maybe just Susanna. Maybe Jill didn't. Yeah. So, Jill could do something technically, and I don't know that she would. I know she has some pretty raw feelings about a lot of different things. So I don't necessarily know if that's something that she would consider or not. Madhouse would be great, but unfortunately, Madhouse was Prince on all the instruments and Eric leads. So I'm sure Eric would not want to come out and just play the tracks. They probably could put together a jazz act of sorts for sure. I would assume, and we've talked about this before, that as far as acts are concerned, or any performing acts are concerned, that it would be interesting to have bigger acts. I'm not obviously somebody like Bruno Mars is insane, but Bruno Mars and so many different acts that are out there that were inspired by Prince. And Beyonce is massive. That would be insane. Janelle Monáe. There's so many different people that could perform, and probably be a really, really good draw and help to expand things beyond whatever. Oh my word. I didn't really think that there would be a whole bunch of craziness on my phone, but I'm going to go ahead and just remove everything that I possibly can remove and turn off everything that I can turn off, because right when you think that you're going to have some silence, it doesn't work out that way. And then of course now you got dogs barking. So a little bit of everything. And I don't know what's going on next door, but it's what it is. I don't know what my dog's losing her mind either, but we're going to find out here just for a second. Let's see if there's a squirrel. That's it. And there's nothing else going on. There you go. Again, if you have not received an email, reach out to Celebration at Paisley Park and get them to send it to you. If you've only been to the celebration once or twice, I do not think there's a discount available to you. I think it's only for 3 and up. So 3 to 6, you get 20% off. And if you've been to all 7, you get 50% off. That's what I remember him saying at the last celebration. And I'm sure there were other people here with celebration that probably heard the same thing. All right, let's look at this together, shall we? Because I want to get through this, but I also want to try to talk through some of the minutiae as well. Sorry about that, Gina. Gina says her dogs are barking too because of the ring. You know what? I literally turn off the ring. Oh, I don't have to put that up. I literally turn off the ring because I feel like there's so much activity that's going on in my house with people just kind of going in and out, and squirrels and cats and whatever else setting it off, that I have to turn it off. And then I get fussed at because I turn it off, but I can't. I just can't. You've seen that commercial with the guy for a Royal Caribbean or whatever it is, and he's like at work and his phone is going off and he goes, just 1 minute. And he goes over there and he's slamming the phone with a hammer. That's kind of how I feel. I don't like a lot of continuous noise. It's just too much for me. And maybe it's just my time. I don't know. All right. So let's look to see what the cost of VIP was, because again, looks like apparently it was sold out. But the VIP, this is everything that it came with. Apparently on release day, the tickets were going to be $1,400, but if you opted for early bird, you got them for $1,250. And of course, if you've been to all 7 of the celebrations, you essentially would have gotten, this for an amazing, amazing price. I mean, $625 is basically what you would have gotten VIP for. So if you've been to all the celebrations, you got to be do VIP for $625, which is pretty friggin' great. Even with the 20% discount, you're looking at a grand. So that's pretty awesome. What VIP got? VIP got an exclusive guided group tour at Paisley Park, the kickoff DJ dance party, exclusive unreleased Prince in concert footage, live music concerts, Under the Cherry Moon screening, celebration events and installations in Minneapolis and St. Paul, panel discussions, the Vault Conversation Part 2 panel, new artist showcase, a block party at the Prince mural in downtown Minneapolis, a drone show, VIP preferred seating and sections at the celebration events, VIP hospitality suite in downtown Minneapolis, exclusive listening sessions, exclusive VIP merchandise, first access to all celebration merchandise, exclusive VIP lunch, and a VIP gospel brunch. Okay. So that's what VIP got. And apparently this is sold out. Again, I do not know if they have VIP seats or VIP tickets that they've set aside for the normal ticket day. Maybe they only took like half of them, or maybe they took, I don't know, maybe they put all the availability of VIP up for early bird. Maybe they did. I honestly don't know. Hopefully we'll get some type of word on that, but as it stands right now, VIP is sold out. So you got to wait for ticket release day, which I don't know exactly what that day is going to be, but when the tickets officially go on sale, they'll be $1,400 minus your discount if you do have one. If you do not have a discount, if you've been more than 3 times to the celebration, send an email to celebration@paisleypark.com and ask them where you can get your code. Definitely check your spam box and wherever else, because it could have simply got sifted out. If I look at my emails, just to kind of give you an idea of when, trying to see here. For instance, there were tickets. I'm just trying to get the code here. The code came yesterday at about 9 o'clock at night. 9:17 at night is when I got the corrected one. So if you're going to check your spam box, check from Thursday, February 26th, check your spam box. But again, if you're looking for VIP, that's gone, but you can still probably get the discount for GA. Okay. So there's that. Let me go back. So if you're GA, the cost is going to be $900 on ticket release day. As far as I know, the early bird tickets are still available. It's $700 for early bird for GA. If you got that, if you've been to all 7 of the celebrations, you're going to be able to get into general admission for $350, which is fantastic. If you get 20% off, of course, you'll take $140 off of that price. Will put you at what, $560 for early bird tickets, which is what this will be, which is a really, really good price for GA. And you'll get the walkthrough tour at Paisley Park. It's going to be your own walkthrough. It's not going to be guided. Kickoff DJ dance party, exclusive unreleased prints and concert footage, live music concerts under the Cherry Moon screening, celebration events and installations in Minneapolis and St. Paul, panel discussions, the Vault Conversation Part 2 panel, new artist showcased, the block party at the Prince Mural in downtown Minneapolis, and the drone show. So you're probably thinking to yourself, well, if you're still on the fence about whether you want to go GA or whether you want to go VIP, that's on you because, again, one more time, VIP is apparently sold out. But what do VIP people get that GA doesn't? Well, here's what you missed out on because it's sold out. Here's what you missed out on. You're not going to get the exclusive guided group tour at Paisley Park, which is a guided tour. The walkthrough tour that you get with GA is you do your own thing. You walk and you do your own thing. You do not get the preferred seating and sections at the celebration events. You don't get access to the hospitality suite. You do not get the exclusive listening session, which typically gives you about a half a dozen or so of listening session for brand new songs from the vault that you've probably never heard before. Exclusive VIP merchandise, you don't get that. First access to all the celebration merchandise, you don't get that. You don't get the exclusive VIP lunch, and you don't get the gospel brunch, which typically happens on Sunday. All right. Whew. It's a lot. It's a lot, isn't it? Yes, I know. It's a lot. It's a lot to take in. So what I can tell you is I do know that some people were asking, they were saying, well, is that good pricing? Is it not good pricing? I tried to find the 2025 pricing. I want to say the 2025 pricing was about the same as it is right now, but I can tell you what it's been like over the years. Matter of fact, I pulled this up from an old slide that I had from a couple years ago. In 2023, you could have gotten into VIP for $1141, and you got GA for $572, and then for 2024, again, 2024 is about the same. Is $1,400 is what the tickets are now. So 2 years later, the pricing has not moved. If you get the VIP, you're going to get less than that. The GIP general admission was $779. So there's that. Roughly about the same thing. So there you go. The pricing is relatively the same as it has been the past couple of years, 2025, 2026. So there's not really anything that you need to do. Just there's that. So let me see. Yes, everybody's asking VIP. Looking across. Slick Rick has made a comment about how young and international Prince fans are priced out again. They did say that they were going to try to make it a little bit more cost effective. And it's essentially more cost effective for people that have attended the previous celebrations. You are getting that money off. So there's that. I don't really know what to say. Yes, it is an expensive undertaking, even at the discount with the $700 discount, the $700 early bird, and you get the 20% off and you end up at $560 or whatever. $560 is still a lot because you still got to deal with the airfare, and you still have to deal with the hotel, and you still have to deal with the rental card. If you don't do rental card, then you have to deal with the Lyft or the Uber or whatever. Then of course you have to eat when you're here. And if you're not going as VIP is not getting fed every single time. So you're still going to have to deal with all that. You got all the merch that you're inevitably going to purchase from all the places that are around there, not just at Paisley Park and their store that's in there, but also, it's interesting. The store that's in Paisley Park, I think is kind of funny because a lot of times you end up just wandering around the store and you just end up purchasing things just to purchase things. And man, it's like those long lines at TJ Maxx or Marshalls where you stand in this long line and they just have all these impulse buys that are just like on either side of you. Paisley Park store is kind of set up a lot like that, not with the impulse buy stuff, but because of the fact that it's just, you're just wandering around it. It's just a little bit of this to see and a little bit of that to see. And it makes it real easy to spend a lot of money. But again, with the hotels and all that stuff, it can get up there. I mean, you're talking about thousands of dollars. If you're not going to get a hotel for, realistically, you're not going to get a hotel for any less than 140. And you got to be, and that's like, you're going to be stretching to do that. So you need to understand that it is a very expensive undertaking, and you're talking about June 3rd through the 7th, which is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 5 days that you will be there, not including if you are a VIP. What's going to end up happening is, let me give you a little bit of a scenario of how this works, because I'm trying to give anybody who has not been to the celebration a little bit more background information, and maybe some things you have been to the celebration, then maybe some details that you forgot. So let's talk about those things that you may have forgotten. First off, June 3rd, the first day, is normally a day that is kind of set aside for VIP. If you've gotten a VIP ticket, you're going to end up being there on June 3rd if you're going to take advantage of everything that the VIP typically has to offer. And normally on that first day, like was last year on June 3rd, well, I don't remember if it was June 3rd last year, but on the first day of the celebration, the VIPs got their listening party. On that first day, they got their guided tour on the first day, and there was something else that they did on that first day too. The GA people, the first thing that they did on that June 3rd was the launch party that happened in downtown Minneapolis. So if you're GA, don't hold me to my word, but I'm just telling you how it's been the previous years. June 3rd, if you're VIP, you're going to want to be there on June 2nd. Because you're going to want to be there because festivities probably will start at 10 or 11 a.m. on June 3rd. If you're VIP, they'll always do something for the VIP that first day. Typically on that first day on June 3rd, again, for GA and everybody, VIP also is the launch party that happens at night. Normally takes place about 7, 8-ish or something like that and goes into the hours of the morning. So if you're GA, you're okay to fly in on June 3rd. Again, don't hold me to my word. I'm just telling you to try to save yourself a little bit of money because that's typically what has happened. I'm hope to God, don't be mad if that's not what ends up happening, but I'm just telling you how it's been for the last few years. If you're GA, there will be nothing to do on that first day on June 3rd. You can come and hang out. I mean, do fly in. I mean, when you fly in, you're going to be flying in right outside of Bloomington, and in Bloomington is the Mall of America, the largest mall in the country. I'm pretty sure that record still stands. Matter of fact, let me do this for you. Okay. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of help. And that's the reason why I do these celebration things every single year. They don't pay me to do it. And again, as you can see by the scroll, I am not associated with Prince. I'm not associated with the Prince Estate. I'm not associated with Paisley Park, but I do my part to make sure that you guys can be able to make intelligent decisions about where to go, what to do, how to kind of execute these things, especially if you've never been to the celebration before, because the celebration is a very, very important time for Prince fans. You've heard me say it a million times, maybe not a million times, but at least a couple of dozen times. Prince fans are in a bubble. If you're a huge hardcore Prince fan, it's pretty rare that you're going to run into somebody else in your normal daily stuff that you do and run into another Prince fan that's as hardcore as you are. it's improbable. But with the Prince celebration, all of the hardcore Prince fans from all over the world descend upon Minneapolis. So if you want to hang out with the other strays of the world, this is where you go. It's so much fun. It is a blast. I thoroughly suggest that you make a pilgrimage out to the celebration. If you cannot afford the celebration, that is okay too. Come to Minneapolis anyways. If the hotel and the rental cars and everything else is going to be too expensive for you and you can't afford to do the celebration, come to Minneapolis anyways. There are still so much things to do. They always have concerts. There are always these satellite concerts that always happen. Eric Leeds and Paul Peterson may do an LP show. There be so many random shows that will be happening all during that week that will just pop up, and you will have plenty to do. I know Martin Kemper and Alfonso Starr, I think, are still planning on doing something. I'm sure Eric Rogers with Paisley Five and Dime will probably still end up doing. There's always going to be stuff to do. There's always tons of things to hang out. Plus, on top of that, there's the block party that they do. I think that normally happens on Saturday. There's a block party that they do where everybody that is at the celebration is going to be there at that block party. And you don't need a ticket to go to that. You just got to be in downtown, which is right about kind of behind where First Avenue is in downtown Minneapolis. So you're going to have an opportunity to hang out with all those people, even if you don't have a ticket to the celebration. If you can afford celebration, go. If you can't, still come anyways. You can hang out with everybody. It's going to be a lot of fun. I am still on the fence. I did not purchase a VIP ticket, so I see that the VIP tickets are sold out. So I won't be going as VIP. Last year, I didn't feel like I wanted to go. And I was offered to come as press. So I went. I was thoroughly intending to not go, not for any other reason other than, financial reasons. But then when Jesse Johnson invited me out to come to see him perform, between that and the block party, I felt like I was going to be able to get enough out of it to attend. But they ended up being gracious enough to offer me a press pass so that I could cover it and share photos with you and share updates and do little things like this. So hopefully they will offer me press again this year, because I don't know if financially I'm going to be able to do it or not. I know you guys probably think that this Funkatopia thing is really lucrative. It's not. Michael Bland and I will tell you it is not lucrative at all, because of the fact that we do everything legally between the ASCAP fees and the global music rights licensing fees that own all the Prince music, and with the radio stations and stuff that we do and all the equipment. And StreamYard alone right here, StreamYard costs $89 a month for me to do the StreamYard on the level that we do it at. So it's not lucrative. So that's the reason why doing things like this is just, I would love to come, but it really is a money thing. So I probably will be there in Minneapolis, but I don't know if I'll be attending this or not. But I still want you to attend, especially if you've never attended before, because your first celebration is typically always the best celebration, because you're like, oh man, I'm surrounded by my people. It's so amazing. It's so much fun, so much good vibes. It's great. So anyways, let me show you a map. Well, first off, before I do this, let me, Thomas says, would have been great to have a rep from the estate on your live or the podcast. Hey, they actually have the backdoor key to come into this show if they want to. There is a link that they can go to and they can come in the back way. They know what that link is. If they ever want to, come in, they know how to get here. I always just leave the door open for them because I know they're pretty busy individuals. Yeah, these are all great ideas. Luther, thank you for all the ideas. I'm going to star some of your questions, or I'm going to star all of your extra things. Sorry if I'm okay. Anyways, I'm going to try my best to kind of go through all your comments. I see the comments flying by. I get it. Let me just kind of take an opportunity to get through what we still have to get through, because I want to make sure that you guys have all the information that you have or that you need, especially for those that have not been to the celebration. I want to show you a map. I created this map years ago, and I always have to rehash this, so I'm bringing it back up again. Let me show you a map of pretty much central Minneapolis, kind of give you an idea, all right? Sorry. This map shows Minneapolis dead in the center. If you look towards the bottom of the map, you will see a little airplane. That is where the airport is. And the airport is right outside of, I don't know what the actual address of the airport is, but it literally is like 2 miles from a town called Bloomington. And let me just tell you, I've been to Minneapolis many, many, many times. And 90% of the time I have stayed in Bloomington. I have no problem staying in Eden Prairie. Eden Prairie is really, really cool to stay in. But the reason why I stay in Bloomington is because it is in the middle of the places that you need to be. It's not at any of the places that you need to be because things don't typically happen in Bloomington, but it's an easy place to go. There's a lot of competitive hotel pricing that is there. So you can get a really decent hotel for under $150 there. I do not know of any crap hole hotels that are there. There are some that are not so great, but what I can tell you is that if you stay in Bloomington, it's a good place. There's lots of places to eat around there. There's lots of places to shop around there. Again, the Mall of America is there. And if you go to the west, about 15, 20 minutes, you'll be in Chanhassen, which is where Paisley Park is. That's where Princess Symbol is on this map. If you go to the north, about 20 minutes, you're going to be in Minneapolis, which is where the Block Party will be, which is right next to First Avenue. You're going to want to make a stop on First Avenue. If you've never been to Minneapolis before, you obviously got to go there. And on top of that, it's also about 20 minutes up on highway over to St. Paul, which I do not know exactly what is going to be happening over in St. Paul, but Bloomington is at a centralized point where you can go 20 minutes this way to Paisley Park, 20 minutes that way to Minneapolis, 20 minutes that way to St. Paul, and be able to cover everything that you need to cover. And you're not too far away. Problem with staying someplace like Eden Prairie, while it's relatively closer, about 10 minutes away from Paisley Park, you're setting yourself up for about a 35-minute drive or longer, depending on traffic, to get into Minneapolis, and probably around the same to get to St. Paul. If you stay in Minneapolis, you got to know a bunch of different things about Minneapolis. Minneapolis is a cool place to stay. Still not a fantastic place to stay or be able to wander the streets at night. There are some cool areas still that have a little bit of nightlife, but still not the greatest as far as safety is concerned. Minneapolis still has a little bit of a homeless problem that is very, very prevalent. I have not been there since all the ice activity. I do not know. I know they're starting to pull some of them out. That should all be resolved before you get to the celebration for sure. But the other part with staying in Minneapolis is that a majority of the hotels do not offer parking. And if they do offer parking, they normally charge you for parking anywhere between $15 to $25 per day to park on site at those hotels. And in some cases, you even have to park a couple blocks away from the hotels. And once again, because of the fact of how things are so far spread out, if you do stay in downtown Minneapolis, that's about a 40-minute ride out to Chanhassen. So if you're taking an Uber or Lyft or something like that, that's going to end up being very, very expensive by the end of the day. Same thing with St. Paul. St. Paul is not going to be too bad, but you're looking at about a $20 ride every single time you get into a car with Uber and tip and whatever else. So what I would suggest is rent a car, stay in Bloomington, and you're a short shot, pow to each of the 3 possible locations that you can go to. It's going to be an easy setup for you. That's my suggestion. You can do whatever you want to do. Eden Prairie has got some really, really nice hotels. That's also got some great eateries and things that are out that way. Some fantastic restaurants and shopping opportunities out that way as well. St. Paul, the same. But again, Bloomington, much more cost effective on the hotel side of things, and just be a better choice for you. I'm just saying, again, do what you want. I'm okay. I'm just trying to help you out here. I stayed in downtown Minneapolis twice out of the many times I've been there, and both times was not great. because the parking added an additional $25 per day to my stay. And of course you stay there for 5 days. That's $150 that you're spending just for parking. That's not even including, the car and everything else. So just do that. And of course, we don't know exactly when and how this is all going to be laid out as far as the schedule is concerned, but there you go. That's that. The Hilton that I have highlighted on here was the host hotel originally. I don't know what the host hotel is. I can tell you that the hotel partners, if I take this down and I share this with you guys, we'll share the hotel screen. The hotel partners, there it is. That's it. Same thing. The Hilton Minneapolis Bloomington is going to be the host hotel again. The Lofton Hotel in Minneapolis, the Hampton Inn and Suites in downtown Minneapolis, and the W in Minneapolis, the Foshoe, those places in Minneapolis. Check and recheck that these offer parking. And if they do offer parking, how much it costs, because parking is not free when you stay at a Minneapolis hotel. I'm just telling you that. The Hilton Minneapolis Bloomington, if you're going to choose a host hotel, one of the hotels they're working with, go with the Hilton Minneapolis Bloomington. It's much calmer. It's much calmer. It's cool. It's laid back. It's not a bunch of craziness. It just is what it is. Okay. I don't know what the cost of these hotels are. Let's see. I'm clicking on the available rooms here, and it's got the dates set June 4th or through the 7th is what it's got. But look, this is not actually too bad. I mean, $139 for 2 queen beds or a king size bed, $139 is pretty friggin' great. I would snatch those up pretty quick if I were you, because that's pretty friggin' awesome. But however, it's June 3rd, not June 4th. So I don't know if editing that is going to change it, but I mean, that's a great price. And of course, if we go back and we look at, let's just say the Lofton Hotel, which is in downtown Minneapolis, and we look to see what their pricing is, notice the difference. It's a king size bed for $173 and a 2 queen beds for $193. So right out of the gate, you're already talking about $60 more to stay in downtown Minneapolis. And again, you're going to be paying that extra $25 a day for parking. Stay in Bloomington. I think I've said that enough. I'm pretty sure I've said that, but I've said that enough. Stay in Bloomington or Eden Prairie, or don't stay at one of the hotels. It's not that big of a deal. What's cool about staying at some of the host hotels, though, is that there normally is a place that they have situated in the lobby of those hotels where they are going to be selling Celebration merchandise. Not all of them. Typically, the Bloomington one is where you'll go to pick up your passes. Sometimes you have to go to downtown Minneapolis. Last year, you had to go to downtown Minneapolis to pick up your passes and your badges. But in the previous years, they've done Bloomington one, you can get them from there. Yeah. So much to share, so much news. And I hope you guys are excited. I hope you guys are ready, because it's here. It is now here. The tickets are now on sale. There it is. Prince Celebration 2026, June 3rd through the 7th. And as I mentioned, the thing about this is make sure that you're looking at the dates when you click on the hotels, because it looks like some of the hotels are defaulted to June 4th. And it doesn't matter whether or not you're VIP or GA, you're going to want to be there on the 3rd. VIP, you're going to want to be there on the 2nd, because you're going to do something on that first day on June 3rd. It's pretty much, I'm pretty confident that's what's going to happen. And on the night of June 3rd, that is going to be when they have the launch party. And you do not want to miss the launch party, because the launch party is a lot of fun. That's where everybody goes and everybody's there. The only other time that happens is at the Black Party, which typically takes place on Saturday in the middle of the day in downtown Minneapolis, in front of this huge mural that's on side of the parking deck that's behind where First Avenue is. So there's a lot going on, and I don't want you guys to miss this. And once again, I can't reiterate this enough. If you are someone who doesn't think you can afford to come to Celebration, come to Minneapolis anyways. It's going to be so much fun. Everybody's here. Everybody's hanging out. There's no better place to be if you're a Prince fan, especially during that celebration window. And let me just go ahead and say this too, because this is a precursor to that. April 21st is the actual 10-year anniversary of Prince's birthday. Okay. If you go to DakotaCooks.com, Dakota Cooks, DAKOTA, Cooks, COOKS.com, DakotaCooks.com, Michael Bland, Tommy Barbarella, and the crew are going to be doing a concert, 2 concerts actually, on the night of April 20th, the night before the 10-year anniversary. And they're going to be doing this really, really cool show. I will be at both of the shows. I'm going to be in Minneapolis twice this year, in April and also in June for the celebration. But come out because it's going to be a really, really cool show. DakotaCooks.com. Look at April 20th. There's 2 shows to choose from, 6:30 and 8:30, I want to say. And I'll be at both those shows. And then at 12:01 a.m., we'll be going out to Chanhassen, out to Riley Creek, which is Graffiti Bridge. We're going to be going out there and doing a memorial at 12:01 a.m. at Riley Creek. And it's going to be fun. We're going to have candles. We're going to be just hanging out, listening to music and talking and just fellowshipping. I know it's a Monday night, but for some people, it's a really, really important time to be there. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to have a great time playing and just hanging out. I'll be probably doing some DJ stuff and definitely emceeing the event on April 20th with Michael Bland and Tommy Barbarella. But we're also going to be doing the candlelight ceremony at 12:01 a.m. at Riley Creek. And then later that day on the 21st, again, the actual day, Paisley Park is doing an event, a memorial event at Paisley Park, where they're going to be opening up Paisley Park to the general public. I don't think they're doing tours for free, but I know they're going to be having an area where you can actually walk around for free and obviously purchase merchandise. And they will have a candlelight ceremony there as well, with 7 minutes of silence there. So, it's going to be pretty amazing. It's going to be a lot of fun. You got 2 fun events, April 20th at the Dakota in downtown Minneapolis, and then the event on 21st. And then of course, this, which we're talking about right here, the celebration June 3rd through the 7th. And I hope that I answered all your questions, but I'm going to go through and scroll through this chat room to see what people have got to say. My apologies. So if you've got a question, go ahead and get it in now, and I will do my best to do this. All right. Some of this is going to be random. Michelle K says, my credit card is in my phone case, so it's great for me to curb my impulse spending when my phone is locked up. Yeah. So that's something you'll notice that they will do. They will lock up your phones. Actually, you know what? You actually bring up a good point. Let me show you. Let me pull up the VIP page here, which is sold out, and kind of give you an idea of what you can expect for each one of these bullets here. First off, the exclusive guided group tour at Paisley Park for the VIP folks, that will take place. I'm pretty positive. It may not, but it has in the past happened on that first day, where you'll be able to take that guided tour. If you're a VIP, you will get a walkthrough as GA, but it's just a general walkthrough. There's not guided. Nobody's going to say anything to you. You just walk and you look and you read and you do whatever you want to do. But it's always good to have that guided tour if you've never been there before, because it helps for, to be walked through and taught what's happening. The kickoff DJ dance party, that happens on the first night, again, June 3rd. In the previous years, it's been at the W in downtown Minneapolis. I got a pretty good feeling that's probably where it will be. That's where it was last year too, right? I'm pretty confident it was at the W last year also. So you got the W there. The exclusive unreleased Prince in concert footage, I think the GA gets that as well, if I remember correctly. Yes, the exclusive unreleased Prince in concert footage. So we're going to get to see some footage at some concerts from Prince, which would be awesome. Unreleased concert footage, by the way. And VIP will typically get an extra viewing of a concert over GA. So GA, you might see one, but VIP will probably see a couple different ones. So that's really cool. Live music concerts. Again, we do not know. We do not know what that music concert will be. We have no idea. It's totally unknown what that concert is going to be and who's going to be performing. We talked at the beginning of the event, the show, that most of these people have already played. So we'll find out. Under the Cherry Moon screening, I imagine it's going to be just the movie and you're going to be screening it. I don't, maybe it might happen in downtown Minneapolis. I know that they did that with, that's pretty standard because there is, the State Theater was where they did the screening of Purple Rain, which was really, really great because Billy Sparks came and like a bunch of different people came and it was fun. So you got to see Purple Rain. So I imagine they're going to be doing the State Theater again at, for the Under the Cherry Moon, because to fit everybody, all VIP and all GA, which is typically broken up into multiple tracks. Like VIP will have 2 separate tracks and GA will have 2 separate tracks. So the only time that you typically can have everybody all together has got to be in some place that can handle that volume of people, and State Theater seemed to work out pretty well for the Purple Rain part of it. The celebration events and installation in Minneapolis and St. Paul. Yes, there was discussion about June 4th and how the Minnesota Twins are doing a Prince night on June 4th in downtown Minneapolis, which you're going to be getting a baseball ticket and you're going to be getting a jacket for the first however many people, 10,000 or whatever it is. So that's really, really cool. Now, it's still unknown about whether or not that Minnesota Twins event is associated with the celebration. My guess, again, this is my guess. See on the scroll on the bottom here, it's all rumor and conjecture unless you hear it otherwise from an official source. My guess is that it is part of the celebration. Celebration will attach itself to it because it's of all the years that this has happened, the Minnesota Twins have never done a Prince night on a day that conflicts with the events of the celebration block of dates. It always like falls like right outside the date by 1 or 2 days. That's pretty typical. So I would be very, very surprised if that Prince night at the Minnesota Twins game was not a part of the celebration. I'm not saying don't buy your tickets to the Minnesota Twins game, because maybe you go ahead and buy it. And then if you find out that it is part of the celebration, you can turn around and sell it, because this game will probably sell out because you got the jackets and because it's fun. It's just a lot. And everybody that does not go to the celebration will probably go to the Minnesota Twins game directly anyway. So there's that. The panel discussions, always you have a variety of different people that are in the mix. I think that I had already starred a comment from Luther. Luther had said, "Hey, Prince State, are you listening? How about Under the Cherry Moon panel with Jerome, Kristen Scott Thomas, Stephen Burkhoff, Francesca Ennis, photographer Jeff Katz, etc." That's a no-brainer. You're correct. It probably is a no-brainer, but it depends on people's availability. I can tell you, Stephen Burkhoff, he did a bumper for my radio station where we reenacted the Under the Cherry Moon answering machine, which was hilarious if you've never heard it. And that was a couple years ago, and he was very, he's an old guy now, really old guy. So I don't know if he's going to be up for that or not. Somebody's asking, is Twins Prince Day June 3rd? I think it's June 4th. Somebody else can check on that. There's that. Let's see. Let me go through the rest of the stuff. The Vault Conversation Part 2 panel. It's the same scenario that we had last time that happened at the hotel in downtown Minneapolis. I can't even remember the name of the hotel. But the hotel that was in downtown Minneapolis, it's going to be the same thing, where it will be Londell and it will be Charles and it'll be a representative probably from Primary Wave and some other, a couple of other talking heads that will be in that room answering your questions and giving you a little bit of update and chastising those of us who question their every move. That's essentially how it'll work. The new artist showcase. A new artist showcase is a time where they have bands that you've probably never heard of. Yes, last year I think Nerdy was there. There's like a bunch of different acts that are new that you don't typically get to hear. So it's a lot of fun to kind of see some of the new talent that's coming up, and they showcase that. at the party. The block party, again, that happens in downtown Minneapolis. It happens normally on the Saturday because I think that's got to be the easiest day to block things out because it's not a weekday where it's going to interfere with normal business Monday through Friday stuff. So there's that. The drone show, I don't know what's going on with the drone show, but here's what I'll tell you. My guess is that the drone show is probably part of the Minnesota Twins game because I can't imagine anywhere else because where they have the block party is in the middle of a bunch of buildings. And so if you have a drone show, it's not very good visibility. My guess is that the baseball game will be a part of the celebration and the drone show will happen there, which seems typical because whenever you have a large stadium that houses sporting events, that seems like a really opportune moment to do a drone show in a good, widely visible area. So my guess is the drone show is part of the baseball. Again, all rumor and conjecture unless you hear otherwise. I'm just trying to kind of help you piece together some of the items. As far as the VIP preferred seating and sections at celebration events, that's normally how it works, is that the first 3 or 4 main sections that are right up front in front of the stages for the panels and any shows that happen are for VIP. I'm glad they actually paid attention this last year and kind of spread it out because, I mean, it seemed like the chairs that they made available for VIP a couple of years ago were like the exact number of people that were attending. And so like everybody was like squash. There was like no room. Everybody was kind of crammed in, but it's okay. You're fine. Same thing with the exclusive listening session and the VIP merchandise, all things that are available. The VIP lunch will happen at some point when you're attending Paisley Park. They normally have a tent that's set up and you can do like some type of buffet or whatever to get that. And then the VIP gospel brunch obviously will happen on Sunday. So they normally have like a church type of service and it's just a gospel brunch where everybody hangs out, really good food and a lot of fun. So that's normally happens at Paisley Park. Paige said, yes, there was a drag queen brunch. Yeah, the drag queen brunch has nothing to do with the celebration, but there is always one there that happens in downtown Minneapolis, normally as one of those exclusive Saturday night events. Van DK says, yes, there is also Dr. Mambo's Combo and Chase and Ovation. They normally always do shows during that week. Dr. Mambo's Combo pretty much plays in downtown Minneapolis at Bunkers in downtown Minneapolis every single week. I don't imagine this will be any different this year at all. Yes. Paul says no info of the concert to be shown. Yep. And they won't. They're probably got to lock things down. A lot of these artists take a little bit of time to kind of work things out. There's normally always money and availability and timing. And so a lot of that stuff you won't know until probably a few weeks out from the celebration at best. A lot of times they do not show in previous celebrations. You do not see what the daily schedule is until you pick up your badges. Last year was one of the few exceptions because we actually got the full schedule way ahead of time, which was great because it allowed people to kind of be able to plan out when they can leave and when they should come. And that's, that's part of the whole scenario. Let's see. Rob Gilmore says Spot Hero is your friend for parking. I don't know anything about Spot Hero. Sounds interesting. We can look into it. Chari says, we love the Lofton because you're right at the heart of the party. It's the whole experience. Yes and no. Again, the Lofton is going to be expensive. So if you can afford it and you can be in the middle of downtown Minneapolis, that's cool. There are plenty of places to see in downtown Minneapolis for sure. Lots of great places to eat. Some really great restaurants. What's that one restaurant? Lumi or Rumi or something like that. It's like a Mediterranean place. It's unbelievable. It's so freaking good. There's like a lot of places that are out there. All right, let's see. Yes, Francine says, I have been staying in Bloomington for the last few years. It is centrally located and free parking. Right, exactly. As I said, you stay in Bloomington, you are like 20 minutes from everything that's going to be happening. Whereas you might be right at the location. Like, I think the Lofton is the one that's right there at where the block party is, which is great. Because you can go to the hotel and you can actually, sit, in some cases, look right down at the block party, and but then for everything else in St. Paul or for down in Chanhassen at Paisley Park, it's going to be a ride. It's 40 minutes. I mean, it's just, again, it's about what your budget is, because staying in downtown Minneapolis is going to be more expensive. I pulled it up here so you wouldn't see I was bluffing you. $60 more a night. Plus on top of that, most of those places do not offer free parking, and it's going to cost you $25 a day to park or whatever. So there's that. Right, Rob, no talent has been announced yet. Still trying to go through here and check out everything. Christina says, I'll be at the Dakota. Looking forward to it. Great. It's a lot of fun. We'll be there. That's April 20th. That's not, has anything to do with the celebration. There's that. I see a lot of other, let's say, an Electric Vibe said $40 for the whole shebang on 421 at Paisley. So for $40, you get everything. You get the capability to be able to do a little bit of a walkthrough tour. You also get the DJ dance party. You also get the candlelight ceremony, which we're doing a candlelight ceremony again at 12:01 a.m. on Monday night. There's not going to be a lot of people there, I would imagine, but I will be there and doing my part. We just wanted to make sure that we weren't doing anything that conflicted with what they had going on. Electric Vibe says, will you DJ for the June shows with MB and company? No. You mean for the April shows? We're not scheduled for anything for the June shows. For the April shows, I may be DJing for the April shows at the Michael Bland shows on 420. So I probably will be there spinning some deep, deep tracks just because, Cheryl Jones says, will they have VIP available for regular price? I don't know. I don't know if they've allocated a certain amount of VIP tickets for the early bird and they're sitting on some for the rest, and they just only made a certain amount available for early bird. I do not know. All I know is that what was made available for early bird is sold out. If that's all the VIP tickets, I typically when people do this, when they make these VIP tickets available for an early bird pricing, it's because they want to kind of get some pre-sales going to kind of see what the demand will be. And they make all of them available. And if you can get them for that price, you can get them for that price, but it kind of helps them. It kind of helps to speed the process of selling the tickets. I'm hoping that they made some VIP tickets available for the people that did not have the money, because the estate only gave them 24 hours notice. We literally got 24 hours notice last night at 9 p.m. They said, hey, early bird tickets are going to be on sale tomorrow at 11. And if you weren't preparing accordingly from a financial perspective, you just didn't have it. But you might have it when the actual tickets go on sale, but now you're screwed. I'm really apologize for everybody that missed out on the VIP. If that's the case and there are no more VIP tickets available, I don't would tell you, I'm sorry. Pick up a GA. GA is just as fun. Yes, you'll miss out on the lunch, and yes, you'll miss out on the gospel lunch, and yes, you'll miss out on the listening sessions, and yes, you'll probably miss out on one of the concert things, but there is still so much fun in GA. You're going to have a great time. Don't hesitate about the GA thing. Get inside the building, be there, hang out, please. It's a lot of fun. How long is the pre-sale? Asked Sylvia. I do not know. Probably until they stop it. I don't know. Joel says, what time does the program usually end on Sunday? Normally there's always a concert event externally that happens on Sunday. And then sometimes they actually will have a concert event that happens on Sunday at Paisley Park. I mean, I think a few years ago, the Family closed out the night, or F Deluxe is what they were calling themselves. So I honestly couldn't tell you. Normally, a lot of GA folks, a majority of GA folks will normally leave on Sunday. We see a lot of people leave on Sunday during the day because they have to be back at work. But from what I understand, there's a lot going on Monday also, because if I remember correctly, it said that the events, that celebration is through June 7th. And that's Sunday, but there's some other things that are happening on that Sunday night. I want to say Dr. Mambo's combo, and then something else I thought I remember hearing about on Monday, but it's not affiliated with the celebration. It's just things that are going on. So just hang out. Let's just see. Thomas says, seems like a separate purchase in regards to the Twins show. Again, for the Twins event, I'm fairly confident that the drone show and the Twins thing is going to be part of your package for going to this Prince event, because will be shocked if the Minnesota Twins did not work in conjunction with the Prince estate. They normally never make it so that it conflicts with the celebration. They normally work together. They normally work together in tandem, and it will normally be done outside of the celebration window. So the fact that it's happening smack in the middle of the celebration window makes me believe that it's going to be part of the celebration, part of what you receive with the celebration ticket, along with the drone show that will probably happen during that time also. Again, this is all rumor, conjecture. I don't know for sure. I'm trying to make some educated guesses for you. But there's that. Let's just see. Let's see. Bert said the Purple Rain movie showing at Target Center in 2024 was not organized by the state, was not part of the celebration. That's correct. But they showed it at the State Theater with everybody there in the State Theater. So yeah, the Target thing had nothing to do with them. Matter of fact, I think that was Sharon Nelson and crew. So I think there was that. So technically it was still part of the estate, but not part of the celebration. Jennifer says, yes, the Lofton is right by First Avenue. And again, check out your pricing, check out whether or not it's going to be, you have to pay for parking, especially if you're renting a car, because that stuff will get expensive and get, okay. This is good news. Thank you, JM Hall. Said there was a limited VIP for pre-sale confirmed by Paisley Park. So there will be more VIP tickets available, just not at the early bird special. You didn't jump. So sorry about that. Let's just see. Way too short a notice. Riley Creek party with Alfonso Starr. I'm not exactly sure when that's going to be. I'll have to talk to him and see what he's doing. And that's what I have. Any more questions? Slick Rick says, what isn't included is flights, a way to get around, food, drinks, somewhere to stay, plus merch. Starting a GoFundMe, LOL. Yes, I understand. I totally understand. So there you go. I think I've answered everybody's questions. I don't know. My apologies for you fine folks on Instagram. I'm trying to see exactly. Yeah. So there is a 50% off code if you did attend all the celebrations. So just know that is, sorry for you folks that have been asking questions on Instagram. This Instagram does not pull over to StreamYard, so I've got to keep that on a separate screen. And there's already a variety of different things going on, and all that. All right, so I think that's it. I think we got everything that you need. If you have any additional questions, please feel free to send them to me. If you want to know how to get to the early bird ticket section, just go to funkatopia.com/2026. Again, funkatopia.com/2026. That will take you right to the early bird page to pick up your ticket for general admission and get in there. And it's going to be a lot of fun. And the Riley Creek party that Thomas was referring to with Alfonso Starr will be on June 7th from 6 to 10 p.m. That's Sunday night. That will be a lot of fun. Alfonso always has some really great music, and he's a lot of fun to watch. And Alfonso is also going to be there with Martin Kember and the unit on June 2nd at the Green Room for a kickoff party. And then you have another kickoff party that's happening on June 3rd. There's so much stuff going on. It's unbelievable. I hope you guys had a great time for this afternoon. Sorry for the early show. This is not like a normal hit and run where I have to delete it because I didn't play any music. So I don't like leaving music up here. That's the reason why these shows get deleted, but this one will not be deleted. So I hope you got all the information that you needed. If you have any other questions, feel free to put them below the video, and I will try to get to them as soon as I possibly can and answer any questions, or at least pull them all together and maybe talk to you on Tuesday night. We have a special guest I think is going to be coming in on Tuesday night. You won't want to miss. Michael Bland and myself will be doing our normal Funkatopia live show on Tuesday night. It's going to be a lot of fun. I hope you are there. And I don't know. Cheryl Jones says, what's up with the 50% off? You get 50% off if you've been to every single one of the posthumous celebrations, there are 7 of them. So if you went to all of them, you get 50% off. If you've been between 3 and 6, you get 20% off. Check your emails about 9:00 at night last night. If you didn't see an email, check your spam folders and wherever else, or your trash or whatever, and double check that it's not there, but you should have a code. If you do not, send an email to celebration@paisleypark.com and I'm sure they'll research it and get you the code that you need. But VIP for early bird is sold out. So now you got to wait until the actual regular priced tickets will be on sale, which will be $1,400. If you get half off, you get 10 for $700. If you get I got to do math now. If you're doing the 20% off, you're going to get $280 off that $1,400 price, which is great. Which about puts it at what the early bird is right now without any discounts. So, yes, that I forgot to tell you that too. April 20th at the Dakota. Again, dakotacooks.com. It's Michael Bland, Tommy Barbarella, and myself. I will also be there. I'll be emceeing the event, might be DJing some stuff as well. But also, special guest Liv Warfield will also be there too. That's the 2 shows on April 20th at the Dakota. So make sure that you go to dakotacooks.com and get your tickets. We will be there on the actual 10-year anniversary of his passing. And then we'll be doing that candlelight ceremony at 12:01 a.m. at Riley Creek. We'll all be pulling up our funked up apps and playing music together and just having a good time. And it should be great. Anyways, hope you guys had a good one. If you have anything that you need, any questions at all, this was already over an hour show. That's pretty significant for something that was relatively unplanned. So if you have any questions, let me know. Thank you guys for hanging out. And I will see you Tuesday night, if nothing else. I might do a hit and run. I don't know. Probably not. I might do a hit and run on Monday, though, just to kind of get a little bit of music out of our systems and get ready. And everybody's all excited now that Celebration has finally got tickets available. We got a little bit of a picture as to what's probably going to be happening, but still so many details we don't know. But don't worry. As soon as we do know details, again, I'm not official, but this is essentially where you're going to come. There you go. See you guys soon. Adios, amigos y amigas. Good night or good afternoon, whatever. Have a great weekend. Bye.